Wow, Norman Kent, legend of photography and skydiving. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Great to see you, Douglas.
We've been friends for a long time, but it's always fun to sit down and just be a little bit wowed by you.
It is. Well, I don't know about wowed. It's always it's always a privilege, to hang out with you and talk to people.
Well, likewise. So what's going on with Norman Kent?
Well, there's projects in my life where I'm working on a new book. It's been actually a while. It's taken me a little longer than usual, but I'm really excited about it. It's kind of secret as far as how the format is, but I can tell you it's going to be very different than any other skydiving book that you've ever seen, because it really ties in nature with skydiving in a different way. We're always really looking at skydiving formations and skydiving itself, and I want to tie in Mother Nature a little bit more. So I think you're going to see some nice things there. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing that. Mm-hmm. We've talked about it a little bit in the past. And
yes.
Can't spill the secret sauce, I guess. Pretty excited to hear you're still working on that. That's going to be cool.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Have you been jumping much?
Yes, I have. It's been. Ironically enough, I think you've heard the side stories on this, but I just got a small injury from that has come back from me from losing that camera. Remember, I got a riser snag on the helmet, and I lost the camera.
It was a whack.
And it was a good whack, and it got me a little tweak. But I have been jumping. I love jumping aside from the shooting, so I do a lot of fun jumping too. So I have been jumping plenty.
How's your free fly? I know you're working.
It's doing
your free
good.
Fly on.
Yeah, I love multiple disciplines. There's a drawback on it, which is that you're never as good as if you just focus on one thing. But for me, I always focus on the photography. It doesn't matter if I'm shooting one thing or another, and I do enough of the disciplines to be able to participate on them. And free fly is one of the things that I love. And I've been getting. I've been doing a lot of the free fly records and stuff, and I was privileged to be on the girls' 41-way record in Eloy, and it's just the atmosphere of a record is always so great, because I think the thing I like the most about participating in records is that you're there when people are at their best. You know what I mean? It's people pull their best performance to achieve a record, and it always seems to have the same personality, which is you have jumps that don't work, and somebody does wrong, and then they got to move them around. It's all this strategy, and then it all of a sudden happens like it was really easy, and you go like, why didn't you just do that in the first jump, But it's all this mental game that you have to go, this process you have to go through, and it's fascinating for me to do that, and that's part of the reason I like shooting it. And of course, that same experience comes right back to me and my performance. I do the same thing and get familiar with it, and it has a rhythm, and then I get into that rhythm, and then I don't do as good and go, oh well, I'm going to do better on the next one, and then when it all comes together, it just seems to come together for me too. Where my flying is at my best, and my shooting is at my best, and my predictions are at my best, and I just seem to pull out unique stuff, and I'm always looking for sort of a different view of it, so I was experimenting with an angle that looked really, really nice. I'm really happy with the photography I did on it, and it's just something that I really wanted to play with. It's a really wide lens where I could see it from the bottom, but also see the horizon because it's wide enough, so you're not looking up at it, and you're not looking at sideways because you're kind of looking at the horizon sideways, but the lens covers up to the formation, right. And it's just a really nice perspective, and so for me it was a great thing to play with that in an environment of a world record.
What kind of what lens were you shooting?
I was shooting a 14mm lens on the still camera.
On the 5D or
on the 5D, on full frame, yeah. So it's really wide.
Bend.
Yeah, and like I say, it's a really nice perspective because when you think of it, if you look at a formation from the bottom, well, you're supposed to be underneath it and you're looking up at it. But if you're doing that, you can't look at the horizon. But with that lens, you can kind of do both.
You can sneak the horizon in.
But the thing about it is, Douglas, I've been shooting for so many years, and it's like I'm a little kid because there's always something new. You go like, oh my God, I can play with this, and they're like, why didn't I think about that 20 years ago? And it's
right.
just always something new to play with that you can just play with in that jump.
Right.
And of course, if you are doing it in an environment like a world record, well, that's even better because you're doing your best performances. They're doing their best performance. It's a world record, and it all just translates right in the picture,
So you got a new book. You shot the world record. Got anything else upcoming going on? Fantastic, fabulous in your life?
Well, I'm working on. I'm trying to sort of transitioning a lot into more of the workshops. And it's not like I'm doing more of the workshops. I'm actually just starting to establish more of the structure for them. Some of them for military, and some of them for regular jumpers and stuff. And what I'm talking about is the camera workshops. You and I have done some work together on that. And I think there's more and more of a need for that, and I want to structure more of a tour, and I'm going to be doing some instead of thinking of them as and I learned that from you, by the way. Instead of trying to do a workshop that covers it all, trying to do like modules. Mini subjects. Yeah, exactly. Like I get, and I'm doing that with like sometimes I get a call where somebody just wants they have a specific question about wide angle adapters, or a specific question about what lens to use or what settings to use. So I'd like to be able to take those and just, even if you don't going to talk for 30 minutes or an hour, and you deal with that specific subject, and not really have to worry about covering too much. And so that's one of the things I'm excited about doing, and perhaps using some of the internet technology to work, like maybe webinars and things like that. And also I'm just coming up with a new my new Facebook page. I actually just had I know everybody's got one, but I've just been myself as a person there, but I haven't really gotten into it, and I'm really excited because it's an environment where I can get to talk about these things,
the Norman Kent,
share
the guy.
information.
Now you got Norman Kent Photography.
Yes, exactly. Sharing the information and talking about stuff, answering questions, showing some of my non-skydiving photography. That's a lot of things. I'm doing a lot of great work, and this is a way to show it and share it with the people. So that's one of the things I'm really excited about.
Very, very cool. Well, I think we're out of time, but it's been a real pleasure.
What do you mean we're out of time? Put some more tape on that thing.
We just got the 10-minute warning.
Well, it's great talking to you.
It's great talking to you too, Norman.
Awesome.
Make sure you check out Norman's page on Facebook, and also check out NormanKent.mp4.com. You'll see some really cool stuff up there.
Awesome.